Random House Audio presents A Spoonful of Sugar, a Nanny's Story by Brenda Ashford. Read for you by Gilpin. Prologue. Clifton Court Residential Home, Olney, Buckinghamshire, England. 2011. Age 90. Sunday schedule. 7:30 a.m. Wake up, wash and dress. 8:30 a.m. Eat breakfast of cereal with banana and cream. 9 a.m. Receive my daily call from my little brother David. 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. I used to get out and tend the residents' communal garden until I suffered a fall, after which I could no longer tolerate the physical strain of gardening. The morning is punctuated by visits from the warden or friends from the church who pop in for coffee. If fine, I always try to get out for a walk. When people hit 90, they seem to stop walking. Well, that's not going to happen to me. I shall never give up. And even if it's a small walk in the garden, I try to get out every morning. 1 p.m. Eat hot lunch, followed by a pudding in the residence lounge. 2 p.m. Watch the news on the television. 3 p.m. Bake a chocolate cake or biscuits. 5 p.m. Take phone calls from former charges asking after me, or from church members. 6 p.m. Have a light supper of homemade sausage and mash or chicken casserole. 7 p.m. Watch television. I love One Born Every Minute, a real-life documentary about babies and childbirth. Downton Abbey or Upstairs Downstairs. 9 p.m. Wash and undress slowly. Read Proverbs from the Bible. Then lights out by 10 p.m. The time is 7:30 a.m. The date is Christmas Eve, 2011. I smile as I pull back my bedroom curtains. A little warm glow that starts in my toes soon tingles up the length of my spine. I simply adore Christmas Eve. No other day on the calendar promises quite so much joy and magic. Right on cue, a light dusting of snow falls from the white skies and settles on the chimney tops outside. A breath of wind picks up a white feather from the ground, and I watch transfixed as it dances, floats, and flutters into the air. A white Christmas, I murmur. How perfect. I know it will never be as cold or snowy as the winters of my past. I will never forget the snows of 1940. Do you know that was the coldest winter on record? The snowfall buried cars, and we had to travel by sled everywhere. But still, even now, aged 90, nothing thrills me like the sight of a white Christmas. Hugging my dressing gown tight around me, I potter to my little kitchen, flick the kettle on, and spoon tea leaves into a pot. While I wait for the kettle to boil, I reflect on the day ahead. With any luck, my tiny one-bedroom flat will be filled with a steady stream of well-wishers, from family and friends to members of my church. I expect my kettle shall barely be off the boil as people pop in to share a cup of tea, drop off a card, or simply pass on their season's greetings. I shiver with excitement. It really doesn't matter how old you are. The magic of the build-up to Christmas never fades. I've baked, of course, just a few mince pies, a pudding, and a fruitcake. My shelves are also groaning with chocolate biscuits for eager little hands. Well, I have to have something to share with my guests, young and old, don't I? Besides, I do so adore the rich, warm, spicy smell that fills a home when you bake. On Christmas evening, nothing says welcome better than a warm mince pie and a piping hot mug of tea. and I want my home to be as toasty, warm, open, and inviting as possible, because what else is there in life? After I have dressed and said my prayers, the warden Julia, who looks after all the residents at the sheltered housing where I live, knocks on the door. "Only me, Brenda," her cheerful voice calls out. I fling open the door and shake my head. Even after all these years, I still find it a surprise to be called Brenda and not Nanny. "A Merry Christmas," I cry, giving her a warm hug. "And what have we here?" "I swear you get more cards each year," she chuckles, placing a thick wadge of cards on my coffee table. "You could give Santa Claus a run for his money, dear." "Oh, thank you," I smile. "You will stop for a cup of tea, won't you?" We share tea and swap stories, and after Julia has left, I pick up my cards and start to open them. Soon my eyes are filled with grateful tears. Card after wonderful card is from all my babies. They come from all over Britain, but they all have one thing in common. They were all looked after by me, Nanny Brenda. "Dear Nana, we can't wait to see you at Christmas. Hope you are taking care of yourself as much as you did us. Love, Felix." And another. "Dear Nana, we can't wait to see you. Love, Susanna." And another. "To my favorite Nana, Merry Christmas. Love, Jemima." Gently I pin each card to the wall on a length of red velvet ribbon. Soon the walls of my little flat are covered with colourful cards from all my former charges, each expressing gratitude and festive wishes. But it is I who should be thankful that I am in their thoughts. Each card is truly a joy to behold. For each and every single one of the 100+ children I have cared for over the past 62 years is very much in my heart. It is they, beautiful children who have blossomed into wonderful adults with lovely families of their own, who have filled my heart and life with love. Being a nanny, some might say Britain's oldest and longest-serving nanny, has been a privilege and an honour for which I count my blessings daily. Opening the last card, I smile as I read, "To our oldest recruit, Merry Christmas, Nurse Ashford. Love from everyone at the Norland Institute." Norland is now known as Norland College, but back when I first started training, it was known as the Norland Institute, changing its status in 1946 in order to sound more modern. The Norland Institute is where it all began, where I took my first nervous steps as a fledgling nanny back in 1939. What a wondrous journey of discovery I have been on since then. Pinning the card up with the rest, I turn my gaze back to the window, and I am spellbound by the falling snowflakes. Suddenly, I find myself transported back to the magical winters of my blissful childhood. Chapter 1. Home is where the heart is. Hallcroft House, Surrey, England, 1930, age 9. Lullaby, hushaby, hasten away, little pink pilgrims till dawn of the day. Slow swings the cradle, but swift is the flight. Lullaby, hushaby, baby, good night. 19th century English lullaby. Sunday schedule. 7 a.m. Woke up and dressed in our special church clothes. 8 a.m. Took turns helping Mother make the beds. 8:30 a.m. Ate breakfast of boiled eggs and toast soldiers, the toast all placed in a rack, and the eggs with little cozies on top. 9:15 a.m. Politely asked if we may leave the table, which Mother insisted we do at the end of every mealtime. 9:30 a.m. Washed faces and brushed teeth.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?